Alright, hello everyone. This is Mr. Ensler. I hope your day is going well. Today we are going over lesson 7.2, solving linear systems by substitution. Now the other day we solved linear systems by graphing. We graphed one line, we graphed the other line. Wherever they crossed was the solution. And that way works well for a lot of times, but sometimes it doesn't work well. What if where they cross is actually a decimal or a fraction? That can be very difficult to see when you're graphing. Also, you have to make sure to draw your line really straight or you might not get the right answer. So today we're going to look at another way called substitution. Make sure you all have your 7.2 notes sheet out. If you don't have one, raise your hand and the teacher will get you one. But make sure you have that and you're ready to go. So we're going to learn how to solve using substitution by looking at these two equations. So we're not going to graph them, we're going to do something else to them. And if you look on your paper, you see the steps for solving by substitution. So step one, isolate one of the four variables. Do you see how we have four variables? We have an x, a y in the first equation. We have an x and a y in the second equation. So pick one of those four to get by itself. It's up to you. There are multiple ways of doing it correctly. For now, let's all pick the same one. Let's just pick this y right here in the first equation. So we're going to solve that. We're going to isolate it, get it by itself. So we would subtract 3x from both sides. Now I picked y, but really you can pick whichever letter you want, whichever letter is most convenient to get by itself. Okay, so now I have one variable by itself isolated. Step two, substitute what that variable equals into the other equation that you didn't use to replace that variable. So we're going to take the other equation, this one over here that we haven't touched at all, and we're going to rewrite it, x minus 2y equals negative 10, but instead of writing y, we are going to write what y equals. So we're going to be taking this right here, and we're going to be plugging that in for y. So instead of writing x minus 2y, we're going to write x minus 2 times all of this, negative 3x minus 9. So let me show you what that will look like. X minus 2, but instead of writing y, we're going to write what y equals. This is the main reason why this method is called substitution, because we're replacing something with what it equals, and y equals negative 3x minus 9. Then we finish it, we still have equals negative 10. All right, and it says now solve this equation. So this equation that we set up, the reason why we wanted to use substitution is because now we only have x's here. We only have one variable, which is good. We can solve that. So in solving this, we're going to have to do some distributing to start off with. So we'll have x. We've got to do negative 2 times negative 3x. That's actually going to be positive 6x. And then negative 2 times negative 9 is positive 18. Equals negative 10. Okay, we got to get the x by itself. Well, I have more than one x. I have x and 6x. It might be helpful to think of this first x as 1x. And so those can be combined to make 7x. And so now we're just going to solve this equation like we normally would. Let's subtract 18. That way this will go away, and we'll have 7x equals negative 10, negative 18 makes negative 28. And then divide by 7. And so we get one of our answers, x equals negative 4. Now remember when we graphed, we had an ordered pair as our solution. We had both an x and a y. So we are not finished yet. we are a little more than halfway finished. We have the x-coordinate, we need the y-coordinate. So now you go to step 3. Substitute the one value you know, either x or y. So for us, that's x equals -4. Substitute that value back into an equation near the beginning to find the other variable. So that's what we're going to do here. Let's pick an equation near the beginning. So we could either pick one of these two original ones, or what I like to pick is this one here, the one where we got y by itself. I'm going to plug this -4 in for x here, and that will tell us what y equals. So I'm going to have y equals -3, but instead of writing x, I'm going to write x equals -4. I like to use parentheses to show that I'm substituting it in. And I still have to finish that up with -9. So now I just have to solve this little mini equation, and I will know what y equals, and we'll be done. -3 times -4 is +12. 12 minus 9 is 3. So don't circle this. We want to put our answer in ordered pair form. And our ordered pair is going to be -4, that's our x value, and +3, that's our y value. Now, we did not graph this, but if we wanted to graph it, if we wanted to put both of these in y equals form and graph them, we could do that, and they would intersect at -4, 3.